This is how to wire a Hikvision camera. One camera, one network cable, and one plug on the recorder, and that single cable carries both the video and the power. No separate power supply, no coax, no mess. Get this one connection right, and your camera is live. So this is how to wire a Hikvision camera the modern way. An IP camera over power over Ethernet, or PoE. We'll cover the one-cable run, the RJ45 termination, the recorder, and the traps that leave you staring at a black screen. By the end, this finished wiring diagram will make complete sense, and you will be able to wire your own. Start with the big idea, because it is the thing that surprises people. A modern Hikvision camera needs exactly one cable, a single run of Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet, ending in an RJ45 plug. That one cable does two jobs at once. It carries the video data coming down from the camera, and it carries the power going up to run the camera, both on the same 8 wires. That is power over Ethernet, PoE. Around 48 volts of DC power is injected at the recorder end and travels down the cable to the camera. So the camera has no wall adapter and no separate power lead. You do not run a second cable out to the roofline. One Ethernet cable in, and the camera powers up and starts streaming. That is the whole reason PoE cameras are so clean to install. Now, the cable itself. From the recorder, you run one length of Cat5e or Cat6 out to the camera. At each end, it terminates in an RJ45 plug, wired to the T568B color order. White-orange, orange, white-green, blue, white-blue, green, white-brown, brown, the same standard on both ends. If you want that pinout step-by-step, there is a full RJ45 video linked below. 2 rules for the run. 1. Ethernet has a hard limit of 100 meters, about 330 feet, from the recorder to the camera. Go past that, and the signal falls off. The camera drops out or never appears at all. 2. The camera lives outside, in the weather, so protect that plug. Hikvision cameras come with a short pigtail, a waterproof RJ45 with a rubber gland that screws together and seals the joint. Feed the cable through the gland, crimp the plug, then tighten the gland down so no water gets in. One more thing on that pigtail. Alongside the RJ45, most Hikvision cameras also have a spare 12-volt DC barrel jack. On a PoE install, you ignore it completely. You leave it capped. It is only there for the odd case where you cannot run PoE and have to power the camera locally. So where does the power come from? 2 setups, and this is the choice that trips people up. The simple one, a Hikvision NVR, the recorder, with built-in PoE ports on the back. You plug the camera's cable straight into one of those ports. That single port powers the camera, records its video, and puts it on screen. Nothing else needed. An 8-channel NVR gives you 8 PoE ports, 8 cameras, 8 cables done. The second setup is for when you run out of ports or the camera sits far from the recorder. Here you add a separate PoE switch or a PoE injector. The camera plugs into the switch powers it and feeds the data, and one uplink cable carries everything back to the NVR or your router. So instead of camera straight to NVR, it is camera to PoE switch to NVR. Same PoE idea. You have just moved where the power is injected. Quick but important detour, so you do not wire the wrong thing. Everything so far is for an IP camera, the RJ45 PoE 1-cable kind. Hikvision also makes analog cameras, the Turbo HD line, and those wire completely differently. An analog camera does not use Ethernet. It uses coax, an RG59 cable with a BNC connector that twists on to carry the video, and a totally separate 12-volt DC power lead to run the camera. 2 connections, not one, and they plug into a DVR, not an NVR. So before you buy any cable, check your camera. An RJ45 network socket on the tail. It is IP. Wire it with PoE like we have shown. A BNC coax and a power jack. It is analog turbo, and that is a different run. Mixing the 2 up is the most common mistake people make. With an IP camera on a Hikvision NVR's own PoE port, the wiring basically is the setup. The NVR runs its own little private network on those ports. Plug the camera in, and the NVR hands an address and adds it automatically. The picture just appears, usually within a minute. It only gets fiddly when the camera goes through a separate switch or through your home router instead of the NVR's PoE ports. Then the camera and the NVR have to sit on the same network, the same subnet, for the recorder to find it. If it does not show up, that mismatch is almost always why. So when it does not work, there are really only a few culprits. No image and no power at all. The cable is the prime suspect. A bad RJ45 crimp where one of the 8 wires did not seat, or a run that is longer than 100 meters. Recrimp the plug, test it, and measure the run. Camera powers up, but the recorder cannot find it? That is a network problem, not a power one. Wrong subnet. Or it is plugged into a data-only port instead of a PoE port on the NVR. Move it to a PoE port, or fix the addressing. Water in the picture, or a camera that dies after the first rain. The waterproof gland on that outdoor plug was never sealed. Redo it. The whole diagram, one more time. One Cat5e or Cat6 cable, T568B on both ends, from the camera into a PoE port. Either the NVR's own PoE port, or a PoE switch that feeds the NVR. Every diagram you have seen here was drawn in a free editor that runs in your browser. No install, no login. The idea is the same as any circuit. A source, a cable, and a device in one complete path. Break that path anywhere. A bad crimp, an overlong run, a loose gland, and nothing flows. That is the whole game with a PoE camera. Open the symbol library, search for cameras, connectors, or any of 400 parts, drop them onto the canvas, and wire your own layout before you ever climb a ladder. Plan it first, then run the cable once. So here's the whole thing in one breath. A modern Hikvision camera is one IP camera, one Ethernet cable, and one PoE port. That single Cat6 carries data and power together. Terminate both ends T568B, keep the run under 100 meters, seal the outdoor plug, and land it on a PoE port, on the NVR, or on a PoE switch that feeds the NVR. Analog turbo cameras are the coax and power exception, so check which one you have first. Get that one cable right, and the camera just works. Open circuit diagram maker.app, grab the symbols, and draw your camera layout yourself. It is free, it runs in your browser, and the link is right below. Subscribe if this made Hikvision wiring finally click, and I will see you in the next one.